Hello again, YouTube family. Thanks for joining me on this video. And this is episode 50 of my channel. That's pretty much our budget. That's where we're at budget-wise for this channel. So let's get into this one, and this is still about the immigration and the border. This time it is a video aired by CNN in which one of their reporters was on a boat on the Rio Grande and claims to have come upon a smuggler smuggling people across the Rio Grande. There are a couple of online media outlets that brought up issues with the story in the video because you had not only CNN, there was also a right-wing website that happened to have reporters also go down that day apparently and film on the north bank of the Rio Grande the same smuggler and migrants crossing at a later time during the day. And immigrant rights activists and others claim the crossing was staged, possibly with the help from Border Patrol. CNN was warned the clip appeared to be a fabrication but aired it anyway. On the same day, at a slightly different time, this operation was filmed by right-wing media and then shared on social media by Republicans in Congress. Problems with the legitimacy of the videos include the time of day. You have in the morning, in broad daylight, a smuggler supposedly making multiple trips back and forth across the Rio Grande in broad daylight with the migrants. The location on the river, it's within 1 mile of a port of entry swarming by Border Patrol agents. You have the attire of the smugglers, wearing ski masks and camouflage. They typically try to dress like the migrants to blend in because the penalty is harsher if you're caught as a smuggler. You have face masks and life vests worn by the migrants, which typically are not provided by smugglers. Smugglers are getting a carrier fee for taking these people across the river, and all they care about is making the money. They don't care about giving personal protective equipment to the migrants they're shuttling. Migrants typically don't line up in single file lines on the south shore of the river waiting to cross in broad daylight. Jen Budd, a former Border Patrol agent, said the smugglers wearing ski masks set off alarms in her head. Her quote was, "That told me the smuggler knew he was being filmed and he didn't want to be set up." Mariana Trevino Wright, executive director of the National Butterfly Center in Texas, said her organization goes to the riverbanks 4 times per week and has never witnessed this type of operation. The Guardian reported this was filmed in an area only accessible by Customs and Border Patrol. That was also backed up by Wright. Wright said a video like this is normally only distributed among right-wing news media, not CNN. That's where some people brought up issues with it, is that, this type of thing showing up on, I believe the website was Tripwires and Triggers, the right-wing website that posted their version of the video they shot with, it would appear to be an iPhone because it's a vertical shot, a vertical video. And a lot of people just dismiss those right-wing media people because they there are right-wing media sites constantly fabricating scenarios to make something look damning, to make something look larger than it is. Jason Jones is the person who shot the video for the right-wing website Tripwires and Triggers, shot the video of the same operation later in the morning. That video was shared on right-wing sites, the Daily Mail, the Epoch Times, and Breitbart, among others. I believe Fox News. I believe the video that I have from Fox News also shows it. So let's watch the two videos.
Good.
This is
Our group
CNN.
eases the tension. A few men appear to lead the raft full of parents and young children to the U.S. side. The Rio Grande Valley has been ground zero of the latest surge of migration, and here you see the operation unfolding right in front of us. ¿De dónde vienen? De Honduras. After the first raft crosses the river, the magnitude of this moment reveals itself. Dozens of migrants emerge and walk down to the river's edge. You can see that this is a serious operation. There are dozens of migrants. There are still some above the hills there, and it is quickly moving. A handful of guys move people back and forth on these rafts. They have life vests for the migrants. It's a highly organized system. We'll watch the raft make about 6 trips back and forth.
And this will be the Fox one.
The video you mentioned, Steve, take a look at this. In the Rio Grande Valley, where I was yesterday at the river crossing, just hundreds on the bank coming hour after hour. I have been multiple times to that very point, and I can tell you it's certainly in full force right now. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy speaking out yesterday. He'll be making a trip down to the border on Monday. Here's a little bit of what he has to say about this situation.
And that was the two videos. You had the one by CNN, the one from Fox. The one from Fox is the one that was shared on the right-wing site. And as you can see, it was more of a vertical iPhone or cell phone shot type video. The markings on the raft and the appearance of the smugglers are the same in both CNN and right-wing videos. In the Tripwires and Triggers video, you can hear men talking. And what I played here was just clips. There are links to the videos in the source data in the description. But in the Tripwires and Triggers video, you can hear men talking. Do you ever hook those guys up? And the response is, yeah, 2 or 3 of them. They're always grade A. Bud mentions this sounds like the camera crew talking or asking a border agent if they ever, about paying off the smugglers to get the video shot. The Butterfly Center got involved in border issues when Trump planned to build a portion of his border wall across the reservation. The Butterfly Center alleges Tim Wilkins, a failed GOP candidate in Texas, arranged the stage filmings. CNN purports that they did not stage a filming and they were not duped by anyone, including Border Patrol. Border Patrol has also denied that they set up a staged filming. Bud added in her post, if it is true that this was a staged filming, that's a pretty big crime. They just filmed themselves aiding and abetting smuggling. And also there is no reporting from CBP that they apprehended the migrants once they got on the north shore of the Rio Grande, which is another issue, that these smugglers were making multiple trips across the river with migrants for both the CNN and the Tripwires and Triggers video, and the Border Patrol reports when they apprehend migrants coming across the border. There was no report of migrants apprehended in this area on the day the video was shot. They were, as I said, filmed within 1 mile of a port of entry. Bud, the former CBP officer, said sensors would have been tripped on the North Shore, alerting the CBP to the presence of migrants. And this was either horrible incompetence on the part of the CBP, the Border Patrol, Customs and Border Patrol, by not checking out the sensors when they got set off, by being at a port of entry, having this happen multiple times during the morning and nobody noticed within a mile of their port of entry. The article was written by Marcia Brown of the Prospect. Some of the right-wing outlets that displayed segments of the video. Also wrote articles about CNN staging the footage. That's the other thing about it, is you had Fox and I believe The Blaze, Breitbart, the Epoch Times, all these different right-wing outlets played the footage from Tripwires and Triggers and then called out CNN for staging their footage of the same operation by apparently the same people on the same day. The Tripwires and Triggers folks said that they don't believe these two filmings happened on the same day. There are a lot of folks that disagree with that assertion. Here are a couple of the tweets from Jen Budd, the former Border Patrol agent, where she's pointing out the similarities between the videos and between CNN and Fox. That's her first tweet on it, and the other one is here. And on the left side is the CNN video, and on the right side is the Jason Jones from Tripwires and Triggers video. And, you know, it's up for you, the viewer, to decide if you believe this was a staged video. There are people who have said that Border Patrol will stage these videos. Although they said it's normally right-wing media outlets, normally smaller right-wing media outlets, that will get these staged shots to make a story sound bigger than it is. And the thing is, we don't have an overwhelming amount of people coming through across the border. The migrant issue isn't some overwhelming thing. I just did my last video on the supposed border crisis and the ridiculousness of these Republicans in Congress going down to politicize it. And one of my biggest problems is, one, Joe Biden is still using Title 42 to say that we're in the midst of a pandemic. We can't let people into the country. And he started letting children across, but not parents. So you have parents on the Mexico side of the border sending their kids across unaccompanied, hoping their kids will be allowed into America, because that's what Joe Biden was doing. And so now we have a larger and larger number of children being held in government custody in these facilities that will again say is similar to concentration camps. It's basically what we're doing. We're holding migrants in concentration camps. And we have a larger and larger number of children right now because Biden was letting children across but not parents. So you had parents sending their kids across in hopes their kids will at least get across and be safe, even if the parents still are in a dangerous, precarious situation in Mexico. And that is, separating children from parents, not the way Trump did, where he had just Border Patrol ripping kids out of the arms of their parents, but it's the same effect. You're taking kids away from the parents, and I don't know why we're in the business of kidnapping kids from Central and South America. That's what this is. It was true under Trump when he was doing it. It's true under Biden. When we're taking kids away from parents, no matter if we're ripping them out of their arms or if we're saying kids can come across, parents can't, we're taking kids away from parents. That is state-sponsored kidnapping of the children of Central and South American migrants who are just seeking asylum. They're not coming here to cause problems. They're not coming here to ruin America. They're not coming here to ruin anybody's happy white life. They're looking for their own happily ever after. And Biden is doing ridiculous stuff similar to Trump. And there was the facility in Florida, Kamala Harris, when she was running for the Democrat nomination, she said if she was president, she would close that facility. She's now vice president, and the facility didn't get closed. It got expanded. So either she was not being honest in what she said, or she's not being listened to in the administration on what's going on. Biden, even though he did not have a normal transition because the preceding president was a horrible baby, he did have the ability to put teams of people together, including he could have put a team of people together to prepare for the leftover problem at the border. Trump had people in Mexico who were waiting to get in, try and get in, and Biden came into office inheriting children who were still in these facilities because we had deported their parents and the kids were still here. You had the judge that ordered the Trump administration to reunite the children with the parents, and we had, I think it was somewhere north of 500 kids that we had deported the parents. The Trump administration couldn't find them. The government officials between ICE, CBP, Homeland Security, they had, when Biden took office, there was around somewhere north of 500 kids, I believe, that were stuck here. Their parents had been shipped back. We couldn't find their parents, and the kids were just in limbo in these horrible conditions in these facilities. And now Biden is exacerbating the problem by allowing the kids across, not allowing the parents. You can watch my last video on this. It had to do with the same stuff, and as I said in that video, over 3/4 of these people have family in the U.S. We should be looking to hook them up with their family, get them on their way in the country safe, comfortable as they're going to be, and not in these ridiculous facilities. And the last thing I'm going to say on the border for now, unless something else comes up in the news media about it, is I am tired of hearing people talk about illegality. They bring it up all the time. Certainly Republicans, when they talk about it, they talk about crossing the border illegally. They talk about illegal aliens, illegal migrants, undocumented illegal immigrants. And the thing is, the Border Patrol and ICE themselves have said that these migrants are not trying to evade the Border Patrol. They're trying to find them because they want to request asylum. They're coming here, they're hungry, they're thirsty, they've traveled a very long distance, it's been treacherous, they're scared for their lives, for their children, and they're looking for Border Patrol. They're not trying to evade them. And it is not illegal to cross the border and request asylum. It was baked into the cake in this country by the framers of this country, by the framers of our law, the Constitution, because the people that created this country were migrants seeking refuge, and so they baked it into the cake that is completely legal. So I want people to stop using the term illegal. If you're an honest person, you will stop using the term illegal. It is not illegal to cross our border and request asylum. What is illegal is to cross the border, try and evade authorities, and sneak into America and live here undocumented. That would be illegal. That is not what these people are trying to do. ICE, Border Patrol have both admitted these people are not trying to avoid authorities. They're trying to find them, to turn themselves in and officially request asylum. So people need to stop using the term illegal. It's been used disingenuously by Republican politicians. It's certainly used disingenuously on right-wing media like Fox and The Blaze and Breitbart and all of these right-wing websites that are trying to poison people's minds. And it's working. People listen to Fox. People listen to Newsmax, OANN, The Blaze, Breitbart. I'm sure Tripwires and Triggers has plenty of right-wing people that read that on a regular basis. And they're putting this poison in people's heads. So you hear people in society. I've gotten into debates just in my normal life with people who have referred to this as illegally coming into the country. And I reinforce on them, it is not illegal. By all means, please go read about it. It is not illegal. You can cross our border and request asylum. That's completely legal in this country. As I said, it was baked into the cake because the people who baked the cake were refugees seeking asylum. They came here from Europe, from various countries, seeking asylum. England was a primary source of the people that originally populated the colonies, but they were asylum seekers coming into this country, and they made it completely legal to do so. So please, if you ever get in a discussion with somebody and they bring up illegal on crossing the border, make sure it's correct. Correct them. Make sure if they're watching Fox or Newsmax or reading one of these right-wing websites and they're getting their information incorrect, please correct them, to have them start thinking in correct terms, such as it is not illegal to come here and request asylum. You may not agree with it. You may say, I don't want them to come here and get asylum. That's your perspective. But it is objectively untrue to say that it is illegal to come here and do that. And that's my episode for today. Happy 50th episode. Thanks for those of you who have tuned in. Thanks to my still 16 subscribers. At least none of you have dropped off. Never have been able to get the subscriber count up. So please, if you like these videos, subscribe. Please subscribe. You can hit the like button. And thanks for joining me. Next time it'll be 51. Thanks. Have a good day.